Hi friends, it's Miss Pamela here from Yellowbird Studio. I wanted to talk with you today about the project that we'll be working on, and we are going to be making an adorable lima bean and white bean duck canvas. Now this project is going to take some time. It's going to require a little bit of patience because putting down the beans is going to be something that's going to take a little bit of time, so don't worry about rushing, just take your time with it. But I wanted to show you what you're going to be having in your kit to get started. We are going to be sending you a canvas with a pre-drawn duck face on it, and we are also going to be sending you some lima beans, some white beans, a few black beans, you'll see some of those, and then you will also be having some glue and some cups of yellow, blue, and white paint. The white paint will have some glue in it. It's the same white paint that you'll be using for Miss Florrie's unicorn project. So it's going to feel a little bit different, the consistency, but it's going to help kind of hold everything together really well. And then you're also going to be getting a cup of really thick tacky glue, which we will label glue so you can make sure you don't accidentally mix them up. The other things that you will need from home, we're going to go ahead and include a paintbrush as well inside of your kit, but you'll need to make sure that you have a surface that's covered and protected, because this is acrylic paint, so it can stain your clothes and your surface, so please make sure you're wearing an old t-shirt or a smock. And then you're also going to need a napkin and a cup of water for rinsing your brush out. And once you have those materials, we'll be ready to start. Okay, Miss Florrie, thank you. Okay, wonderful. So here we have, I'll turn him around so you can see him a little bit better. There we have our little duck. And the first step that you're going to do is you are going to have your background. And on your background, you are going to use your brush and your blue paint to paint your background. Now, I wanted to be able to move through this activity a little bit faster with you today, so I already have one that I have pre-painted to show you. What you will do is that you will just paint and spread your blue paint nice and thin all the way around your canvas. Go ahead and paint on the pencil line a little bit, because the beans won't always fit perfectly straight right up against the pencil line, so you want to be able to overlap that pencil line a little bit to make sure it doesn't show. And you'll go all the way around, you'll paint all the way around its beak, around its head, and once your entire background has been painted, you will set it off for a few minutes just to let it dry and kind of set. Once the paint has dried, we are then going to start gluing on the beans. I'll keep it upside down just so you can see it better the entire time. You're going to take your tacky glue, and this is really thick glue, but it's going to be really great because it's going to kind of help hold on all of the beans. I also want you guys to take note of the little eye that we drew here, because that's going to help kind of be a guide of where you're not going to put the large lima beans, so you can leave a little bit of space to fill in your eye afterwards. The best thing to do is kind of create kind of curved arches of lima beans that come down all along your duck. So I'm going to show you how to line up a set of lima beans along the beak. That will be your guide to kind of help you follow a line all the way down the side of its body. So let's go ahead and get started. Now I am scooping a lot of glue. Make sure you get a nice thick amount of glue, because it's going to need thick glue on it to be able to hold these lima beans on. So try not to spread it really thin and spread out all of your glue really smoothly. Make sure you leave it lumpy and really thick all along the beak here at the base. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and put on your glue. I'll just show you how thick it is. And then you are going to make a line of lima beans all the way across it. And just kind of make sure that they're really nice and close together. And as you get up towards the top here, it's going to curve a little bit, and it's okay because it's going to help you kind of curve around the head. So once you've got your lima beans in place here, you are going to start working down in a line that comes down the side of the body. So we'll go ahead and start putting the glue on. And remember, nice and thick, and go right up along the edge there, okay? You can go right up against the blue paint, right along the edge. Really thick paint. And the best thing to do is to not spread glue all the way around the paper because this takes a little bit of time. You don't want your glue drying by the time you get to the next spot. So you want to be able to do each section at a time. And if for some reason your lima bean is not sticking very well, just stick a little extra glue underneath it. But this glue is pretty thick, so it should be able to hold really well. And just kind of place your beans on all along. Now I do like to kind of look through my pile of beans for the different sizes because sometimes you'll need a shorter lima bean or a longer lima bean to kind of finish off the bottom. So you can always pour them out and make it a little bit easier to sort through them and find them and kind of see what sizes will fit best. Now we're just going to move on to the next section and we're going to put the glue on all along the head. Make a nice line. Make sure it's nice and thick all the way across. And then we're going to fill in the next section. And we're going to kind of gently press the lima bean up against the first row, just so they're nice and tight and close together. And we're going to move on. Now I'm only going to do a couple rows of this just so we don't have to make such a long video for you, but it's still going to show you all of the different steps that we are doing. Okay? I definitely want to get around this portion here so you can kind of understand how the eye will work out. So now we're going to go on to the next line. Same thing, nice thick line of glue. Don't be shy with the glue. We just need a little bit left over for Miss Florrie's project to do the ears and the horn. So the majority of this glue will be used on this project, okay? We're going to go ahead and stick them on like this. And same thing, also kind of rest them up against the row that's in front of it. That way they can go in there nice and snug. Okay. So there's a little space left there, so I'm going to look for a little lima bean and kind of make it fit. And I've also tried to keep my lima beans, so you can see when you look at a lima bean, how it kind of has a little curve in it like that. I've been trying to keep the curves kind of turning inward this way, just so there's kind of a consistent pattern when you lay them down. So keep that in mind as well. Now it's our next row. Spread the glue on nice and thick. There we go. And continue spreading it down. Make sure it's really nice on there. And we're going to do the next layer. And so the really fun thing about these lima beans and the little space between them is that when we are finished with our project and we go in and kind of paint it, it's going to look like just layers of feathers. Rather than just a flat painting of a duck, it's going to be really textured and kind of 3D, and it's going to look like it's got all of these different layers of feathers all along its head and its neck. Very good. You see? And now I'm going to do this next section. So I'm going to work in this portion of the head only, and then I'm going to stop and move on to the beak to show you, but I wanted to show you as far as what we're going to do with the eye. We're going to go around, and now we're not going to be able to get a perfect round eye with the black beans because the black beans have odd shapes to them, but we just want to be able to fill this space in and make sure we leave a little bit of room for some black beans in the center there for the eyes. So you're going to take your lima beans and you're going to kind of place them, and it's going to fit right up against there. And if it goes a little bit over your pencil line, please don't worry about that. It's not that important. It's just there to kind of be a guide of where we would like for our eye to kind of be, okay? So we're going to work around the eye. And we're going to stay facing the same direction as if we're creating that kind of another set of lines coming down, but just leave a little bit of space there. And then you're going to take some glue and you're going to pile some glue into that hole right there where you have a little gap from the lima beans. And then you will take some of your little black beans and you're going to place them in there and rest them, kind of push them down a little bit If you want to add a little bit more, just push your lima bean back a little bit, and you can kind of decide how many beans you want in that area. Right now I used about 5. See? And then once you've got that all in place, then you're just going to continue going down the rest of the line that goes down for the next row of lima beans. Okay, I'll put a couple on just to show you. And so you're going to continue doing this until you cover its entire head and then kind of come down. I'm going to show you on the final sample here. You'll see the lima beans will come right along the edge here, and they're not going to be completely even up against this side here, so don't worry too much about that gap because it's just going to look like wavy feathers coming off the top of its head. So you don't have to worry about trying to squeeze an extra one in here if you don't want to. It's okay if it's got a little bit of that extra space there. So we are going to move on now to the beak just to kind of show you a little bit of how we worked on the beak. Same thing, we're going to put some glue right along the edge here, just to make sure we get a nice line up against the front of its face. Now with these, you don't have to worry about them facing the same direction. You can kind of just lay them on wherever you can. They can turn sideways, they can face forward. It's just more about filling in the space, not so much about making lines. So we're going to go ahead and have a big glob of glue and spread it all around the beak. Same thing, go right up against the blue line so we can make sure we cover the entire space. And once all the glue is on, then we're just going to kind of put some beans on. I kind of just drop a pile on, not too many at a time though, and kind of move them around, flatten them out, making sure that they're not piled on top of each other, that they're just resting against one another and down on the paper, and that they stick really well to the glue. And just fill in your beak. Go around and keep filling it in. If you see any little spots here that are empty, just fill those in as well. Try to make sure that it is as full as possible. Fill them in. Kind of just get a little shape of the tip of the beak there. Very good. Kind of tap down gently just to hold them all in place. And then you will have your beak filled in. Once your lima beans have been placed on, and your black beans, and your small little navy beans, let it sit for a few moments to kind of let the glue start to dry a little bit. You don't have to wait for it to be completely dry before you start painting, but you do want it to kind of sit for just a bit. So I'm going to bring over the final sample, and we'll talk about where we're going to paint. On the lima beans, you'll have the white paint that will have some glue in it, and you'll have your brush. Now the brush that you use for the glue is the same brush you're going to use here, so just wash it off really well, dry it, and then you can go ahead and start painting. And the trick here is to not scoop up big giant globs of paint. You want to be able to just kind of paint on a thin coat. If you notice, lima beans kind of have a tendency to kind of crack and peel a little bit, so we're going to try to not be too rough with them. So we're going to paint gently by simply taking on a layer of paint and then just going through and painting the surface of the lima bean. These have been painted already, but I wanted to go ahead and show you here. That way you can see the difference. This is not completely dry. I would wait a little bit longer to paint it, but just so that I can show you for the video. Once you start painting the lima bean, see how much brighter it is? So it's basically going to just cover over the lima bean and give you a nice white color. And you're going to do that on every single one of them. And just be very careful when you go around the eye so you don't accidentally paint inside of the black beans. And you're going to paint all of your lima beans. Once you have painted all of your lima beans and it's all been painted white, then you're going to rinse your brush. And then after you've rinsed your brush, dry it really well. Remember, make sure that you don't have any white paint left on your brush. Then you're going to go ahead and take your yellow paint and you're going to proceed to paint over the tiny white beans and paint those as well. I'm not going to do all of this because the beans are still moving around a little bit since the glue has not dried, but I will show you on the final sample. Once you have painted all of your beans, you'll have a nice bright yellow beak like this. And we're going to probably put a little bit of glue in the yellow paint for you as well. So it's going to feel a little stickier, but it's going to help kind of just give it a nice coat and hold everything in place really nicely. And then once you've painted your beak and you've painted your lima beans, your background has been painted as well, you're going to set it off and just let it finish drying. And once the paint is all dry and the glue is all dry, you'll be able to hang up a nice beautiful duck painting. So I really want to thank you guys for joining me today, and I hope you enjoy it. I hope you have enjoyed doing all of these classes with Miss Flory and I, because we've had a lot of fun doing this with you, and we miss you guys terribly, and we look forward to seeing you guys inside the studio soon. So have a wonderful day, and we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.